CRM was supposed to improve customer relationships. Instead, it's shorthand for Customer Rage Machine. Your CRM can't explain why a customer's package took 5 detours? Reboot your inner peace and scream into a pillow. It's okay. On the ServiceNow AI platform, CRM stands for something better. AI agents don't just track issues, they resolve them, transforming the entire customer experience. So breathe in and breathe out. Bad CRM was then. This is ServiceNow.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
This is Kjetil, Nordhus, the singer of Green Carnation, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
This is 70,000 Tons of Metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. 60 bands, 4 days, 1 cruise ship, only 3,000 tickets. It's like having an all-access backstage pass. January 29th to February 2nd, 2026. From Miami, Florida to Nassau, the Bahamas, and back. Go to 70,000tons.com and book now.
Anyway, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
No worries. It's just a pleasure.
Where are you located geographically?
In the very south of Norway, in Scandinavia. So
wow.
Quite far away, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. So yeah, quite a long ways away. Is it 24 dark yet or no? Getting there?
Well, in the very south of Norway, we don't get 24 hours of darkness, but it's it's different now from the summer. It is most definitely. So in November, December, January, it's quite dark here as well. Yeah. So it's dark when you go to work in the morning. It's dark when you go from work in the evening. So it kind of feels like it's dark 24/7. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into Green Carnation, then let me ask you a question that I kind of ask a lot of my Norwegian or Scandinavian friends. Why do you think so much really good metal comes out of that area per capita, right? Because I think there's more great metal bands that come out of there than anybody else, and it's smaller than most places.
Oh yeah, we're in maybe the 5th biggest city in Norway, and we're just over 100,000 people here. You know, yeah. And we have plenty of bands, also internationally established bands. But I think it's mixed probably between you know. Having to, we're not in big places, most of us. So we need to do what's possible for us to do, and that might be play music, and might be to do sports or be in the scouts or whatever. But I do think maybe the most important thing is that we had someone that went before us and showed us that it was possible to do an international career within metal, even if you're from Norway, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you kind of get to believe already at a young age, I think, that it's possible to succeed in whatever your goals are within music and of course metal. Even though you're from a small place, from a so small city, or from a small town, or even a village, you know. So I think that's important. Regards to everything in your life, is that if somebody showed you before that it's possible, it's easier to believe in yourself and maybe to do what you need in order to succeed.
Fair enough. All right, sorry, that was a little detour.
That's okay.
Green Carnation, the record's been out since, I don't know, probably, 2 weeks now? A Dark Poem, Part 1, The Shores of Melancholia. What's been the response to it so far?
Of course, like every band would say that they don't really care about the response because they make the music they like themselves and so on. And we would probably also, there is some kind of truth in that. But of course, when when we have received such an amazing response to it, it kind of makes all the hours, the thousands of hours that you put into this, maybe a little bit more worthwhile. Most would, I guess, agree with that as well. And to be honest, I'm not the person that only wants to read like positive reviews, but this time I haven't found anything else than positive reviews, like from very good to extremely good. And yeah, of course, that makes us happy. It's motivating, and we're going to continue, with part 2 and part 3 within the next. This is going to be a big part of our lives the next couple of years. So, of course, you want positivity around it. It would be like a kind of a hassle if everybody was just complaining about it.
Right. But how much how much headspace do you give the people with the negative comments? Or, luckily you haven't had any now, but how much time do you give to them, and do you let it affect you, or is it just kind of roll off your back?
No, it depends a little bit. If they don't really get, if they don't show that they have tried to kind of understand what we're trying to do, if they have tried and they don't like it, that's fair enough. That's no problem at all. But if people kind of totally misunderstands and haven't kind of made an effort to try and understand what we want to do with this, that's kind of a little bit more annoying, although it doesn't ruin my sleep at all. But yeah, so I would say we haven't had anything of this, I think, this time around, but it wouldn't ruin my sleep at all, no.
Okay. So let's go a little deeper here. The record explores themes of alienation, existential questions, and it's going to be through a trilogy format, which you were just talking about. What was the creative challenge of weaving such an arc across multiple albums?
Yeah, we have been working on this since 2018.
Wow.
So 7 years of composing, writing lyrics, and of course working a lot with all the songs. That's been the most challenging part of it, is that it's such a huge amount of music, and we don't make a song within like an afternoon or something. It's been some of the songs has been with us for when it comes to the demo working and the pre-productions, has been with us for years before it was finished, and of course, to make it all fit together, of course, it's another big thing. We composed all the songs. I think maybe some of the songs were like in 20 different versions before we were okay with them, and it's been like that with all the songs. So we put the level high for ourselves, and of course it took us through also COVID and everything, and that made some people very creative and some people very non-creative. And I think for us it wasn't extremely creative, but we managed to do something during COVID. So after composing all the songs, we needed to compose the 3 albums kind of with our already composed songs. So that was also like a challenge, of course, to, like, for the first album, the Shores of Melancholia, we wanted this album to be an album that could stand on its own legs without having to, you don't need part 2 and 3 for it to make sense. The same will be with the second album, and it is with the third album. Everybody, I think, is going to understand that this is all connected. You won't understand it before the third album, and I cannot say too much about it now, but you will understand eventually, I think.
What's the sequencing like for a record like this then? I mean, if you're writing 3 records, you've got to put those songs there's a lot of time and effort putting those songs in the right order, right? And creating the journey.
Absolutely.
Especially over 3 records.
Yeah, especially, and we haven't tried that before. But I do think we succeeded with making album number 1 like an album that could stand on its own. And I don't know yet if we're going to succeed with the second album in doing that. That's going to be quite a different album. It's going to be more. There's 2 like very quiet songs on the next album. There is no really quiet songs on the first one. It's like full of energy. You're thinking throughout the entire first album. And then the third album, we're going to have a total break within the album. And we're going to introduce something completely new to everybody. That is it's gonna sum up the album, the album trilogy. Again, I cannot say too much about that right now, but it's a big task, because you want all the albums to live their own lives, but also to live a life together. And of course, we haven't tried that before, but I think we have, as I said, succeeded with, making a first album that makes sense to people.
Is it all written? Do you have all 3 records written, or it is?
Yeah, written and recorded.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're 50 years old now, and we've finally understood the worth of planning ahead. And for example, for the big, new thing on the third album, we had to be like 2 or 3 years ahead in the planning in order for it to happen. So I remember, being younger, we had some great ideas, and normally it would be way too late for us to be able to do what needed to fulfill the ideas. But this time around, it has been different. We have planned everything since around 2020, and that's why we can, I wouldn't say relax, but we went into the studio April last year, and we stayed in the studio throughout the year. So we used like 7 months in the studio, not like 8 hours every day, of course, but we had the studio for 7 months. So we really wanted to record everything in one session, one long session. Yeah.
Wow. How much of you guys took a brief hiatus, I believe, and how much of that being away from the bands or being away from each other, however that worked out, made its way back into and shaped the emotional content of this record?
Yeah, I think in many ways it wasn't a brief; it was almost 10 years. The hiatus. We were really active on like doing other music projects and bands and everything, and we never kind of fell out. It's just that we didn't know what to do next, and then instead of doing something that we didn't really believe in, we kind of just said, okay, this is it then. And then after 10 years, I think we were all motivated to get back together for the Light of Day, Day of Darkness anniversary, 15 years anniversary in 2016. But we didn't decide to do more new music before, having 1 year together, play Light of Day, Day of Darkness around the world on festivals and stuff. And it just felt like the right thing. So we decided we're going to continue being a band and making new music because this feels right for us right now. Like it didn't in 2006. It didn't feel right, but now it felt right. And that was when the idea of doing a trilogy came back into the band. And from then we, of course, released an album in 2020, and we re-released an album in 22 to give us time for us to compose and record this kind of huge project, which is now done. Yeah.
So how did the collaboration with Enslaved come about, and what do you think his presence brought to the narrative of the album? And I want to mention his name, but there's no way I'm going to pronounce that. I'm going to butcher it. So if you could do that for me, that'd be even better.
Yeah, his artist name is Kjetil Kjelsson.
Yeah, I would never have gotten that.
Kjetil Kjelsson. He's an old friend of mine. I've known him for many, many years, and many times after 10 o'clock in the evening, we talked about maybe doing something together, like all musicians do after 10 o'clock in the evening, And actually, that song, the first thing we worked on that song was the intro guitar riff, which has an aggressive edge to it. And we decided on all the songs here on this album to kind of do what the songs needed for them to be fulfilled, no matter what direction, and no matter, we have a song that pulled us really like into the 70s direction, also song number 3, Me, My Enemy. This one had an aggressive edge to it, and when we let the song just develop, it just became more and more aggressive drums in the start. I had clean vocals in the verses in the beginning. And then we just, as the rest of the song kind of developed, the verses needed to be different. So So first I tried to do something I never tried before in the studio, and that was to do extreme vocals. And we kind of managed to get it sounding kind of cool. All the guys in the band wanted to keep it like that, but I was saying that like we haven't made any compromises on anything on this album. So I'd rather want to ask somebody who is world class in doing this instead of kind of trying to trick some, doing some effects and stuff for it to sound cool, you know. So that's when I reached out to Kjetil, and he really wanted to do it, and he did it in a studio in Bergen, which is kind of far away from Kristiansand, where we live. I had an idea. I didn't say too much to him about what we wanted him to do, but then he delivered something that was 100% that was, you know, I wanted. So I'm really happy with his contribution. And although that's like an element, that's not something we have used a lot before, that kind of vocals. I think, of course, many people would be surprised when they hear the start of the song because they wouldn't expect it. But I do also think that in the end of the song, when you have listened through it, you kind of accept it as like a typical Green Carnation song after all. It just sounds a little bit different. But of course, and everything, it is a typical Green Carnation song. It's just with some new elements, yeah. And we've never been afraid of new elements.
Were you concerned that some of your fans may not take the journey with that one?
No, I wouldn't say concerned, but we know that we are kind of challenging, of course, ourselves first and foremost. But we've always challenged our fans, and but I do think most people would kind of accept it as a typical Green Carnation song that actually does something with you when you listen to it, does something new to you, maybe this one. And I think that's why people like us.
Fair enough. So I've got 2 out-of-the-box questions I want to get to towards the end here. But before we go, are you guys taking this on the road? And if so, when and where? Yeah.
We already did the world premiere on all the new songs at the Prog Power US Festival in Atlanta.
You were here for that?
Yeah. It was great to be able to present all the songs live 2 days before the album was out. So that was kind of an exclusive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So album number 2 is going to be out before next summer. So from early next year, we're gonna do a live set consisting of songs from album number 1 and album number 2. And the gigs and festivals are being booked now. And I would say that after the reception of the first album, it seems to be quite a lot of interest in having us to play, especially in Europe, I think. But we do have a wish to do Latin America for the first time. That would be nice. And of course, the US is probably our biggest country when it comes to followers. And although it's quite a hassle to get into the US now if you're going to do it legally, it's still a continent with lots of Green Carnation followers, so that would always be something to consider. And then after the summer next year, the album number 3 is going to come out. So I think from next summer and all through 2027, wouldn't it be? Yeah. We're going to try and do like a dark poem live on festivals and short tours. We're not able to do like extremely long tours for the time being, and we're like 10 people traveling with the band, so it's kind of hard to. There has to be some economy in it for us to be able to do it, because to move 10 people to the next city in Norway, even that is expensive for us. But for the right festivals and the right people, we like really want to do it live, because we do think that this is very live friendly material if we get to work enough with it. And it was such a huge job to get album number 1, all the songs up. And we had Paul Coor from November's Doom guesting on that The Slave That You Are, the extreme vocals. So that was great fun in the US. So we just gonna have to wait and see. We want to go out. We want to do it, and it's just up to people to ask the promoters and the festival bookers to book us, and we'll most definitely want to do that. Yeah.
All right. So let's switch gears a little out of the box. If you guys had no budget, because I'm thinking this is quite theatrical as I'm listening to the first one, and now it's going across all three. This could be like a Broadway stage production almost, right? So if you had no budget and you were able to adapt this to the stage or the film, how would you do it? What do you envision for that?
Yeah, it is actually a very it is a question that's kind of realistic actually for us right now, because we are doing a concert in our hometown of Kristiansand in the classical music hall together with the full symphony orchestra, doing the entire album number 1, album number 2, and album number 3 in one evening in September next year, and with the guests on the albums, and with I wouldn't say we have no budget there, but at least we've almost sold, I think, we're going to sell out 1,000 tickets plus, which will give us some opportunity to use some elements
Right.
that we are not used to. Of course, to have like 60 classical musicians on stage, that's not every day, but we're going to have that on the concert. So with theatrical elements, we have been discussing actually to introduce something. I don't think we're going to do that on a regular, festivals and stuff. But in September next year in our hometown, we might actually do some stuff like that. Also, we're thinking about mixing video, like stuff happening on the video, into the show in pauses, because of course we have to remove an entire orchestra from the stage, for example, at one time during the concert, and what's gonna happen during those 10 minutes, and we're kind of trying to figure that out, but we're not sure yet. Or also, we've done concerts on top of the Norwegian mountains beneath like a huge water dam one time, which was just amazing. And we made a DVD out of that, but that was planned during the last 2 days before the show, but it's ended up like being like an underground, like an epic, because it's so special it's like 1.5 hours by car north from where we live into like a little village with 8 people and a dog, and from there it was like 45 minutes by bus up to the mountains and in underneath the dam, Wow. So we are used to doing like this more is more project. So we're looking forward to plan that big show in our hometown like properly, and use hopefully some elements that people aren't expecting.
I like that use of using elements outside, because I just saw Swallow the Sun last year on 70,000 Tons of Metal. They did it with the ballet.
Yeah. Oh.
And I am telling you, it is. I mean, I had chills watching it. It was the greatest thing. Like, you could hear a pin drop, sold out room, all these metalheads. You could hear a pin drop with the Finnish National Ballet and them doing their latest record. It was insane. So I like that. You're going to include the orchestra. It adds a whole nother element that I think brings.
Absolutely. The orchestra.
Sure.
Yeah, we're going to have a full opera choir as well on that. I'm maybe telling you a little bit too much now, but it's okay. You can write whatever you want. But there's going to be much more information about that from next summer on, I think.
That's cool. I dig that kind of stuff. So, lastly, imagine the Shores of Melancholia as reality. If you could send listeners into the universe for a day, what revelation or takeaway do you want them to have and return with?
From the album?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big one. I'm thinking that the album is a result of losing control over your own situation in your personal life and your position in the world. Stuff is happening now. You don't know if it's true or not. It's like we're close to Russia, and Russia yesterday was, I think it was Russia who paralyzed the 2 biggest airports in Norway and Denmark. It's kind of getting close, and you're kind of, so what I'm not sure if I answer your question, but would I would make want people to come back with a sense of honesty. Don't care about power. Don't care about money. Just try and live your life in a positive way in your years in the earth, and kind of be kind to people. Like I really, really want to just throw away everything and go alone to the mountains. Have no contact with anyone for the rest of my life. I think that would make me a more happy man. And if people coming back from space could help me with not having that feeling, that would be a good thing.
It's funny you said that. I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, man, we need to sell the house, get like 50 acres somewhere, me, you, and the dog, and leave the phone somewhere else. I don't even need it, and just move on. I'm at that point with you, and I bet you millions of people listening to us, if we had millions of people, but the 5 people listening to us are very on the same level, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming, and I'm 50 years old now. I don't think it's because I'm getting old that I feel like this. It's just like everything that was kind of like comforting. Like, for example, to have that at least a level of control over something. I'm used to that from growing up, but now it seems like everything's just spinning away in different directions without anyone, I think, can have it. Like, even now, like with the artificial intelligence and stuff, we don't even control that anymore. So it's and this is kind of what we're talking about during the 3 albums as well. So I do think that we're gonna have many people recognize and like feeling at home in our lyrics this time.
Excellent. Sorry, I know I went down a rabbit hole, but I just like to talk, so.
That's fine.
That is all I have. Did I miss anything you want to cover?
Oh, I don't think so at all.
If fans want to find you guys, is it Green Carnation everywhere?
Yeah, I would say so. It's Green Carnation Norway on Facebook, and it's If you search for Green Carnation, we didn't know that when it's an old name. We figured when Google came or the internet came, we figured out that Green Carnation is also a gay symbol. That Oscar Wilde was wearing a green carnation in his on his dress to show people that he was gay. And it's also the biggest gay club in London, we figured out after. So you might find the band, or you might find something else, but but you'll find us eventually.
Thank you for taking the time, my friend. I'm glad we were able to make it work earlier. I appreciate you.
Yeah, likewise. It was a good one, this.
Good. Hope it wasn't too bad. I just like to talk, so.
Yeah, it was great. So might see you when you just go away from everything. I'll be your neighbor probably.
Yeah. I'm going to be out there somewhere. I'm trying to push my wife into it. I've been 21 years I'm a police dispatcher in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 21 years in, and I can retire in about 2.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping to just drop off and be gone in 2 years.
Sounds great.
Me and the dogs in the woods.
Oh, brilliant. All right.
All right, be well, my friend. Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.